Turn on that radio and back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
About the fact that we have Grant Cardone,
boom,
Tracy Myers, Rick Reichart, Lisa Copeland, Joe Lyons, Andrew Dunton, and Chris Saraceno. Is that what you're talking about?
It was exactly. It's funny because my notes say the same people, and it was exactly what I was talking about. Because you got such, I mean, you got the elite here.
Yeah.
Cream of the crop. Creme de la creme, which is cream of the crop in Portuguese, I believe.
No, Dutch.
Dutch. Sorry.
We're going to be talking about collaboration versus competition, and it's a topic that is it's it's one of these crazy topics. I can't wait, man. I first of all, I love having Grant on all the time, but I can't wait. We got a little question here, a couple we took from an article. I just can't wait to when they open the cage and Grant Cardone comes out on this subject, because the truth of the matter is it's competition versus collaboration, and it's touching on, has the auto industry gone soft? Are we so focused on, what we think is the new that we're missing out on, what's got us here? And I'm not talking about technology and so forth. I'm talking about attitude, domination. And so it's going to be a great, great, great topic. And we got some of the best, man. We have the #1 Fiat dealer in the world, in the country.
Lisa Copeland, right?
First person, I think the only person to ever sell 100 Fiats in a month, new. Right. We have a general manager from Asbury, 23 years in the business, and he spent 20 years with AutoNation as well. Andrew Dunton. We have Rick Reichart. My God, I mean, we kept teasing him at Digital Dealer on the keynote and called him the Mark Cuban of used cars. He sold over 8,000 pre-owned vehicles last year. And
what's awesome about him too, though, he's a good, nice, down to earth guy, but he's a great operator. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing, and he's blessed, and he does a lot of business. But yeah, I mean, we met him personally, young guy. It's just like, it's encouraging. It should be encouraging to you guys out there too. Whoever watches this show, I mean, myself, I get encouraged, I get challenged, because I see these people at the top of their game. Some of these people aren't. They didn't take 50, 60 years to get top of the game. These guys in their 30s and 40s are really made a name for themselves in their 30s and so forth. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about that today, and we're going to get there. We're only a couple of minutes away, so we're going to be bringing everyone on here in just the next few minutes. And of course, Tracy Myers, there's so many things around and centered around his name that there really are too many to name. We'll do that in the intro, but phenomenal dealer operator, motivational speaker, guy's a trainer, he's a wrestling promoter. Joe Lyons.
He's a wrestling promoter?
Yeah, he is.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's how he talks actually all the time. So when he comes on, he's going to go, Dave. No, I'm just kidding. He won't do that. But we have Joe Lyons. Joe is kind of a behind-the-scenes guy in many ways, but he has just become recently the COO of Thompson Automotive Group. They have 5 or 6 stores up in the Baltimore market. And Chris Saraceno, partner of Kelly Automotive. Yep. Of course, the one and only Grant Cardone. Just a phenomenal crew. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But let me tell you, man, the brand new season. And here's what's cool, Tommy. We have coming up on Auto Dealer Live in the next 4 months, we have over 35 people that have never, ever been on the show before joining our regular family of individuals who come on and regularly contribute. And we like to look at them as contributors because we have a lot of the same people on, but because they have so much to offer, man. And so we have a lot of the new coming to meet some of the family that comes on a regular basis. And we've got some great automotive shows and stuff coming up.
Awesome.
And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be an incredible year. Absolutely. I tell you what, February is killing it right now too, isn't it?
February's been a good month.
It's the 4th.
It's the 4th, that's right. Actually, it started out phenomenal. And I just want to take a little sidebar, and this is not show related, but I just wanted to get the Italian word of the day. I get words of the day. Okay, I don't know.
Go ahead.
The Italian word of the day today is vitamin. And I'll use it in context in a sentence.
Well, you're Italian too, right?
I'm Italian, so yeah, this applies.
Say it like kind of like.
So my daughter's new boyfriend's outside. Vitamins so I can meet him. Vitamin. Bing.
Awesome. Are we going to commercial break before we bring everybody on, Mike?
I got nothing else. I hope so.
Okay, so just give me the thumbs up when you want us to go to that. And so anyway, just great things, man. We came off the heels of a great digital dealer. I want to again thank everybody. We had a great keynote panel there. Looking forward to Vegas in August. But and so going back to February, man, you know, it's crazy. People are saying, and I'm anxious to hear what some of these. I'm sure they're going to weave this into their conversation because we have pros, auto pros on the show today. And you know, 2015 was a record year in many ways in the auto business. And there's some that are saying, hey, it's going to slow down, you know, and then before it picks up in 2016, I think we're getting ready to experience, man, a phenomenal year in the auto business. I really do. I think used car business is going to pick up like crazy as well. And we're seeing a huge January and February. I'm not just saying this here where we actually work with dealers. It's the 4th of the month, halfway through the day of the 4th. And I think we've already done like $250,000, $300,000, almost $300,000 in business. And what that, here's the thing. Dealers are spending money and they're optimistic, and that's what's important. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be in that industry.
Well, I think at the end of the day, too, it's like, you know, win, lose, or draw, whatever it looks like. You know, you're dealing with people, and there'll always be like a pruning. You know what I mean? It happened in '08 and so forth. So what you're dealing with is eventually people will be pruned. Some of the people that shouldn't be in the positions they're at, or the dealerships that shouldn't be open, will be gone. And even if that's the case, at the end of the day, there'll always be a place for the business. There'll always be a place for great operators that know what they're doing and can put put a good business model together. So.
Yeah, and one of our guests that's coming on today is no question, and I don't want to get too much into it, but it kind of tags right into what we're talking about. But Grant's talking about not even just talking about dominating, and really what you just said, is really that strong will survive. And
I don't want to participate. If there's a recession, I'm not going to participate.
You don't want a 7th place ribbon.
They have those. They call the way up to 8, I think.
Yeah, hey, congratulations. There was 8 of you that played, and you came in 7th, and I'm going to give you a ribbon. And then they go, hey, what does the 8th place guy get? Oh, he gets a ribbon too.
Nice.
If my kid brings home an 8th place ribbon, I'm going to rip it up.
Burn it.
I'm going to burn it. I mean, come on, man. And anyway, so we're going to be jumping into this panel right now. We just want to thank you guys for listening. We got an exciting year ahead. We're in our new studios today, and just very, very excited about what's coming up on Auto Dealer Live. Tommy, and man, I appreciate you kind of jumping in here, man, as a new co-host here. Been doing a bang-up job.
I'm happy to be
here. And you killed it on the Man on the Street deal when you walked around and interviewed. If you haven't checked those out, man, go. I guess you can go on Autotainment Network, Mike, and you can just look in the search and say Man on the Street. And Tommy went around Digital Dealer. We're going to have him do it a lot more. I think we're going to have him do it on the street, like just walk out randomly into the parking lot of our business park and just interview people. But dude,
whatever
it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. And so, hey, Mike, we're going to go ahead and jump to commercial, man. I want to give this panel as much time as possible when I see them coming on now. So, are we prepared to go ahead and go? All right, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. The next up on Auto Dealer Live is, I'm just going to call it the freaking baller panel, because it is a group of amazing individuals that are coming on. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
We'll see you then. Come
That's
on
right.
back.
Let me tell you what we do to help dealerships increase used car sales 20 to 30% in gross in volume. 3 areas we focus on: trend reports. We look at weekly trends that no one else is trending to make adjustments on our inventory. 2 is we do weekly review calls to review those trends, but also we dig through every car that needs to be price adjusted to increase the searches. And 3, we do a virtual lot walk, make sure every car is standing tall in line, and make sure we don't have bad photos like these. Check out our website, lotpop.com. our blog at automotiverevolution.com, and our weekly video tips at increaseturn.com. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Alan Ram, president and founder of Alan Ram's Proactive Training Solutions. Let's face it, good managers are defined not by what they do when they have a showroom full of customers, but more by what they do when there are no customers in the showroom. In 2015, whether you like it or not, the car business is all about conversion of opportunities and driving traffic. All those great closers and desk people are not doing you a whole lot of good if your dealership is not converting effectively on the telephone and internet. As an owner or dealer, when you see 5 salespeople standing by the front door doing nothing, Don't kid yourself. Your dealership is not being effectively managed. Management by Fire is a 2.5-day intensive course conducted entirely by me that teaches managers how to effectively manage in today's automotive industry. Simple processes for driving high-quality traffic. For more information on upcoming events, please call my team at 866-996-4665. Once again, 866-996-4665. Thank you.
Max Profit Selling, an easy-to-follow, buyer-friendly sales process that will give you the tools, skills, and confidence to consistently sell premium vehicles to delighted buyers.
To learn more about selling the way your customers prefer to buy, please visit nopressureselling.com or call 1-800-515-0034.
Oh yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. God bless us. What are we doing?
We're gonna introduce the panel.
Oh, that's a good idea. We should do that.
Here we go, guys. Hey, on the phone and on video now, we want to introduce, I think, just an incredible panel. We have the Vice President and partner at Kelly Automotive Group, as well as co-founder of Dealer Elite, Chris Saraceno. We have the executive and a partner of the Reichardt Automotive Group, King of Used Cars, as well as one of the top Ford stores in the country, Rick Reichardt. We have the managing partner of Fiat of Austin and Alfa Romeo, Lisa Copeland. We have a general manager of Asbury Automotive, Coggan Kia. We have Andrew Dunton. We have owner Frank Myers Automax, and honestly, just a ton of other things. And Tracy Myers is on the phone with us as well. And we have owner of Cardone Enterprises, best-selling author, owns multiple businesses. He's everywhere. We have Grant Cardone. And guys, I want to thank you for joining us. Joe Lyons is going to drop in here shortly, the COO of Thompson Automotive. And I want to kind of get right into the discussion today because I want to give you guys as much time as possible. And want to talk to you guys about this topic. You know, we're talking about competition versus collaboration, and from multiple perspectives. And I think there's multiple ways we can look at it. You know, we can look at it from product, we can look at it from personnel. And I want to jump into the personnel and say, Lisa, you know, some would say, let's just turn the keys over to millennials. You know, they get it, we don't. You know, endless media reports. I mean, there's tons of people in the auto business. Again, how relevant they are or not, I'm not sure, but there's endless people in the or around the auto business that describe how millennials demand a collaborative workplace. But a new CEB global study says that millennials, those born between 1980 and 2000, they say, and this is kind of a millennial think tank type deal, says they're the most competitive generation in today's workplace. What do you say, Lisa, when it comes to this? You know, they demand this collaborative atmosphere and environment, but yet some say they're the most competitive. And we took a poll in our office, and it seems like they feel like they're competitive.
That's interesting. You know, yes, are they competitive? Absolutely. Are they motivated? Absolutely. But I think different things motivate them than what motivate us. Mm-hmm. And it isn't money all the time. You know, and that's what's interesting to me, and that's what makes them more difficult to manage in the automotive space, is because those of us who've been around a while, I mean, we get up every morning to make money and to make a lot of it. Whereas this group, that isn't as much. You know, to your point, they're looking for, you know, great work environment and a great place to go, and they're looking for a 40-hour work week and to make enough money And this isn't everybody, so 80-20 rule, but they're looking for enough money to have a good life and make a good living. And so I think that's been our challenge in the automotive industry, because it's counterintuitive to what we've done in the past. And I'm not saying what the past is the best. It's just us, the older generation in this industry, trying to adjust to the new world, to the new work order.
Okay. And let me ask you, Chris, what's your thought on this as well? I mean, again, the study saying, and this is from a millennial think tank, and again, we took this poll here, and literally, it was weird. I had a couple of salespeople that were outside of the millennial, maybe in their early 40s, late 30s, kind of saying, nah, that's not true, and kind of arguing with them. Before you know it, 5 minutes into it, I'm refereeing it. I said, guys, stop. I said, actually, these millennials are fighting for this argument right now on how they're the most competitive. Isn't that a sign of, hey, I'm competitive? So let me ask this, Tracy, are we getting it wrong? Are they really possibly motivated by money? Because there's a study I'm going to give you in a minute with a statistic that one of my millennials gave us that I didn't know about. So talk about that, Tracy. Are they really maybe possibly motivated by money, and maybe we're getting it wrong?
Well, there's always a possibility we're getting it wrong, but 70% of our sales staff at our main store is millennials, and I don't see any of them motivated by money, or it sure doesn't seem that way. They're motivated by time off, time with their family, time with their friends, fun activities with their coworkers, and they really do like that collaborative atmosphere, so to speak, working together, buddy. And I'm 44, almost 45. It wasn't like that. I mean, we like. Man, I would work 75, 80 hours a week. I wanted the money. It was about the money to me. That's why I did what I did. But it's just not like that now, or it sure doesn't seem that way. So I'm looking for somebody to prove me wrong.
Okay.
Mr. Grant Cardone.
Yeah, what's happening?
How are you, sir?
Good. Who is that?
This is Tommy. I'm the guy that doesn't have a cardboard cutout of you at my house.
Tell me what's happening, man.
Not yet, anyway. Hey, listen. Well, what do you weigh in on that, man? Because I was actually part of that. Good. I was part of that discussion we were having here.
I think you guys need to get out of your town, the town that you're in. You might need to look. I got 700, 800 people on a stream right now, and I'll bet you 80% of them are millennials, and they're screaming money, and they're screaming improvement. I had 25 17-year-olds in my office today. I'm like, what do you guys want to know? The number one answer is how do I get successful? How do I get some money? How do I go out and get away from my parents? I mean, I had 4 kids want Lamborghinis this morning, so I don't know who you guys are talking to, but the people when you open up your net and you quit labeling and stigmatizing these young kids just because they're not exactly the way you are,
right?
You might find out some of them maybe they just don't want to sell cars at your dealership. Maybe they don't like maybe they don't like the way that 45-year-old manager treats them. Maybe you guys are deciding going in that he's just because he's 24 that. Look, nobody taught him how to shake a hand. Nobody taught him how to greet a customer. Nobody taught him how to control a cycle. Nobody's taught him about sales. Nobody taught him how to close the deal. Nobody taught him the importance of all that stuff. So don't expect that they have these tools after freaking 12 years of being put under the ether of education.
That's a good point.
Let me ask you, Andrew. I mean, working with AutoNation for a long time, and of course now with Asbury, you've been with some public companies, and I know these guys I've interviewed some of their HR personnel. They're really going after this hard. What do you think, and how, is what Grant's saying right here? Have we gotten this wrong, or maybe we're misjudging? What's your experience with this millennial generation and their desire to make money in your dealerships?
Well, our company does have a program called the MIT program. It's Manager in Training. It's designed for college grads, recent college grads. Locally here in Tampa, we, of course, reach out to University of South Florida primarily, which is one of our first candidates, by the way, is in charge of 24 dealerships in Florida. He's 34 years old. And it's designed to get that high-quality, educated candidate and who wants to come into retail automotive and, eventually end up running a store or more. So we do see some extremely talented and highly motivated killers, really. Is the mortality rate high? It's probably, comparable to other candidates that we get in that age bracket that just come in through the traditional manner of an online ad or something. But some of the top candidates we get out of that are a little different than I saw in 1989 when I started at Carlisle Lincoln Mercury.
Real quick, too, I know you're in a real competitive market, Andrew. I mean, Grant knows one of the guys that's right down the street from you, John Marazzi, which he's freaking stroking it, over 500 cars now. And then you got Brandon Ford. We got Matt Lasco on the show all the time. And Matt, when he was here, mystery shopped Brandon Ford because they were beating his pants off in certified Ford pre-owned. And so I got a kid that goes to our church. It's like, I think he's Billy. How old is Billy, Mike? 19? 22 years old, and he's selling 20 cars a month now, 4 months into Brandon Ford. So I'm going to have to hook you up with him because, and this kid's, I see him and he's like, he never thought about selling cars. That wasn't what he wanted to do, but he's killing it. And he said, you know what? I wanted to try to hire him here. And he said, I want to become number one before I leave. And I could appreciate that. And so let me ask you, Chris, I mean, you said when we talked about this panel, you said, you think that there's a need for both collaboration and competitiveness in a dealership. Do dealerships benefit from collaboration? And then secondly, is there still room, Chris, for competition where we're at?
I think you could do it all. I think a team, it's no different than a sports team. You collaborate as a team, so you compete in your market, so you could dominate. I mean, that's no different than a sports team. They collaborate together so they could dominate and win every time. That's how businesses are run. You want to make sure everybody's working together so you could beat the closest competitor, beat everybody in the region, state, nation. So I don't know what's different here than any sports team. They work together. Grant has a business. I guarantee the people that are working with his business work together so they could dominate any business they're part about. But they work together to do that. So you could do collaboration. You could compete. So you win. That's what business is all about.
Yeah.
And when it comes to people, I mean, it still comes down to getting what you can't teach. You could teach a lot of things, but you can't teach a sense of urgency. You can't teach desire. You can't teach work ethics. You just have to find the right people and keep looking. Because when I started in 1984, there were lots of lazy people that didn't want to work more than 40 hours and didn't want to compete. It's the same thing today. It's just finding the right people that want to be great, and then giving them the tools needed to excel.
Before you read that statistic too, Rick, I mean, I want to give you a chance to weigh in here, but I want to kind of just add one of these other questions that I had on here because I think this is pretty good. We had a team here come up with some thoughts, and so this is kind of what I'm hearing, and I know Grant would agree with this, and most of you guys I'm sure would if you really, really think about it. The point is, I guess, the age. So let's look at it. So it's not an age thing, Rick. It's because it's the predictor. Some people right out of college, want to compete, and there's people that are 50 and 60-year-old that that have no desire, but that possibly are leaning towards this collaborative, and somebody that maybe you wouldn't waste your time on hiring. I mean, is that a fair point? So whether they're young or old, what's your thinking on that, Rick? I mean, do you have hammers in there that are young? Have you had good experience with this? I mean, do they want to do things differently?
Yeah, I don't discriminate, because someone's of millennial age, So millennials are younger adults that seem to not do everything with the status quo, and they kind of have their own ways of communicating, and they don't really want to reform to the way of their parents. We used to just call those rebels back in the day. And back in my day, that was okay to be a little bit different and fight what the norm was. People's parents create millennials, these helicopter parents that decide to be a child's best friend rather than be someone that's going to push them to be ambitious in life. And there are 22, 23-year-olds coming out of the military today that are waiting tables and busting their ass because their parents didn't spoon feed them. They had to work. They had to get up their ass. They went to school to learn to become something. And their parents aren't inviting them to come back and live in my basement until you're 40. They're out there. You just have to recruit. You have to know how to recruit and find them. And they do want to collaborate as a unit because they want to make it different. They want to know how they can advance. They want to know what difference they can make within their community and how they can improve their own life. And then when it gets to the point of, okay, now you're one-on-one with the customer and you're a commission-based salesperson, then you're self-employed. And if you don't choose to compete and you're going to spend your day collaborating and helping the other salesmen all day, you're going to be what's called unemployed. So it's simple. It's just up to someone's choice. Whatever they choose to do in life, they'll be able to take that path if they put their mind to it, the same as it has been for 100 years.
I had a question too, just based off what I'm hearing, and I'm 38, so I guess I'm an Gen X. I think.
You're not a millennial.
No, I know I'm not a millennial. I get it. Okay.
The other day you were trying to.
I didn't know if I was or not. That's
You are not a millennial.
Okay, so I'm not a millennial. I'm older.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm asking is, I'm hearing what?
Let it go, man.
All right, I'm fine.
Sorry,
So I'm hearing so much about the millennial. I don't know, and maybe Grant or maybe Tracy, somebody can weigh in on this. That's been around for a minute. Is that were we always trying to cater things to quote unquote generations prior to the millennial? Why do I hear so much about the millennial generation and why we need to cater to them or do things different or whatever? Why is that even being mentioned half as much as it is?
Hey, dude, I think that's a great question to ask, and I don't understand when we have somebody in my office. I never see their age. I don't know how many of you guys, when you hire somebody, I don't see their age. I don't see their sex. I don't see the color of their skin. I see nothing. I see, dude, you got any hustle or not, bro? I don't even see their resume. I don't care about their resume. I care nothing about any of that. If I'm asking about somebody's age, it's only because I'm interested in, like, how did he get where he's at right now in his life, you know? Mm-hmm. Why would one guy find me at 21 years old and another guy not find me until he was 54? So I don't know why we talk about millennials so much. Every time I hear this, I think, this sounds like my grandparents talking about me when I was listening to Led Zeppelin. Oh, the generation is going to hell. Oh, my God. He uses a telephone. Oh, my God. He has automatic in his car. What kind of man would use an automatic shifter in an automobile? Well, dude, one day we're not going to even drive a car. So, like, we're on a planet of 7 billion people, most of which are misguided, undisciplined, overeducated, and don't really know anything. So if you go to Colombia, go to Bogota, Colombia, where I just left, and see what kind of problem you got.
You think they're talking about millennials in Bogota? They're like,
no, I think they're talking about a work. I think they're talking about a work ethic problem.
Sure.
Go ahead, Chris.
Is that related to the generation though?
No. I think this is a conversation we've been having since farmers moved to cities.
Right.
If you were a farmer and you milk your own cow, you think Bill is a lazy ass because he goes to Whole Foods and buys a carton of milk.
Free range eggs.
I would agree with Grant. We spend way too much time talking about this, and you run a business, you tell them what needs to get done, you give them the guidelines, you give them the tools, and you make sure you coach them, but it's not a choice of collaboration or competition. This is a matter of, we get too much stuck in the tyranny of the or. It's like raising children. My children are not going to ask me, Dad, you want me to get good grades, be good in sports, or do my chores? I'm going to say, I want you to do all of it. I want you to do this and this and this. No different than a team member. I want you to sell lots of cars. I want you to take care of customers. I want you to collaborate, and I want us to be the best in our marketplace. It's not an or, it's an and that's the people we want. We got to find the people that want to be great.
You are great, Chris. Chris, you're a great person.
Don't fight it.
Tracy, Lisa, and I want to kind of shift this in a second to really talk about another part of collaboration, because I think there's a need for it in the car business at the same time from an idea standpoint. Some of the things that you see Grant doing, and that's why I really wanted Grant to come on, because he's not a dealer, and what he's doing in his business is being modeled in front of dealerships, and it needs to be done across the board, and there's a lot of collaboration going on as well. But I want to read a quote here. One of my guys threw this to us, our millennials. They found this. I didn't read it until today. LinkedIn article from Joan Grieve. I don't know who she is, but she said most millennials would dump a friend to get ahead at work. And there's a quote here that says, when asked whether they would sacrifice a work friendship for a promotion, 68% of millennials said they would, while 62% of boomers said they would never even consider it. So according to this, millennials are saying I would step on the head of the person, around me to get ahead, and so let me ask this, Lisa. I mean, from a collaboration standpoint, let's switch gears here, okay?
I'd like to buy that list, by the way. If I could buy that list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I'm starting to look at the guys that work for me a little different after they all read that. They all knew about it. Oh yeah, that article.
I was the one that brought it to you, by the way.
Yes, yes you were. And so, Lisa, let me ask you this: looking at the way that from an idea standpoint, collaborating, brainstorming, marketing, coming up with ideas. You have this top-down mentality that's also been around in automotive for a long, long time, where there is no collaboration. It's like I'm doing it this way because the guy that taught me how to do it did this way, and the guy that taught him how to do it did this way. And and then somebody makes a lot of money, doesn't like something, goes across the street and works down at the other store. So you have this constant amoeba deal going on. There's no leadership. They don't understand how to grow a business, so to speak. And I'm not speaking, I know, Chris, before you can say it, I'm not speaking for everyone. I know you do, because I understand there's good dealers out there. But for the most part, that's why we have issues with the auto business, keeping and retaining great talent. So, Lisa, when it comes to that, what's your opinion, of collaboration within the dealership, and what's needed from the brainstorming, marketing, idea, including some of these people that could come up with really good solutions?
I'll tell you, I wrote the whole business case for Fiat of Austin 6 years ago to FCA, or to Chrysler back then, based on the book Delivering Happiness. And it was the Zappos story, and I was so inspired by it. And then I was able to meet Jen Tony, and they've been to my dealership, and so I love the Zappos, and I love the collaboration. Go to my website. I have a chief happiness officer. Her job is to go around and it isn't to sit and listen to employees, because that's still, I think, a management thing, but it's to put together things and things within the dealership that we can do together to build a culture, to write on the walls, celebrate success. Employees of the month, it's your birthday, it's your, whatever it is, we want to celebrate it, because we spend so much time here at the dealership with each other that collaboration is the only way to go. And you're not always going to have a good day. So, I'm of the mentality that it doesn't need to be some hierarchy. I'm not the queen and everyone's going to bow. What's going to happen is that we're going to work together to win. And we're all about winning too. I hear you guys, we're in it to win it. End of story. And I just want to clarify on millennials, I don't just look for them, but with the particular brand that I'm with, it's young, it's funky. It tends to attract that workforce. The 60-year-old guy that's been selling Ford trucks is probably not coming to the Fiat Alfa Romeo store. And so I've just had to learn to manage a different way. And so what I've learned is through the whole Zappos model, which we do it, we live it, is that it's collaboration, it's teamwork, it's family, and then it's also crushing sales records. It's what we do.
Okay.
So.
Now, Rick, even though we're talking about two separate things, we're talking about competition and collaboration being two very different approaches.
Rick's face is red.
Rick.
I met Rick a couple weeks ago again. His face kind of gets red a little bit when he has something to say. Look at him.
Well, what I was gonna ask is, how do we optimize these practices in a growing and busy dealership environment? How do we maximize the two separate entities that they are?
You got to define what it is you're trying to accomplish, share it with everyone, get on the same page, explain why you're doing it, get the buy-in, and do it every day until it becomes a habit. I mean, that's how you create any kind of culture. And with these millennials, or with anyone in today's world that information is so available, they want to know why they're doing something. You can't just tell somebody, go move the cars, go move the lot. Well, why are we doing that? Well, we want to have ourselves have a retail presence that looks like we're open. We want to sell these cars. You explain the why to them, people will do things. And if you create the culture where everybody's coming into the store a half hour early because you have a half hour of training every day and everyone does it together as a team, then those that want to try to fight against the culture and say, hey, let's not show up for training. If we all don't show up, it'll collapse. They're right. But if the majority understands why you're doing it and why we're heading in that direction, and why we're going to improve every day and get better, then those that want to be against that are going to be forced out and leave because they're lazy. And you can feel out the laziness that way.
Before I go to Andrew and Tracy, I got a question for you guys. But Grant, I was noticing here on Twitter, you got 17 hours left on this. I'm going to encourage people that are listening to go and take this survey. You got a how many hours do you work survey on Twitter, where I think the last time I looked at it, about 340 people voted. And The results here, you've got 36%. And I know you just said your audience, there's a lot of, what did you say the age bracket is? You said,
well, I don't know. I don't know who's on Twitter today. I mean, that thing's only good for like 10 minutes, right? So I pinned that to the top of my page. But I'm probably under 30. My audience is probably under 40 years old, and I'm 57 years old. So why is anybody following me? I don't know. But it says, how many hours do you work a week? I gave them 4 choices: less than 35 hours. By the way, Mass America works 32 hours a week, including a lot of GMs I know. 35 to 40 hours, 40 to 50 hours, and over 70 hours. Now, whether they're exaggerating or not, you can tell them the results, though.
No, yeah, look at here. So the results here on that pinned tweet, you can go see it for yourself. I'm sure that number's jumped up. I'm just looking at it. 36% of the vote said 70-plus hours a week. And that was second place. First place, though, 40%, just 4% over that, said 40 to 50 hours a week.
David, that's 76% of that audience. That's a decent poll, too, 341 people.
Yeah.
76% said they work 40 to 70 hours a week, somewhere in there. Now, the question is, and that goes back to what I said about, look, if you open up, when we came to Miami, any of you that run stores in Miami, they have an issue here. There's a cultural issue here, different than probably some of the bigger cities, right? Or different than maybe Houston or Dallas. Mm-hmm. Then you go to San Diego. San Diego's got a horrible, horrible problem culturally because guys want to go out to the surf. So what we had to do is we had to hire from around the United States and even outside the country to actually get the talent we wanted. I think I have 2 people that live in Miami that work in my office now. We got 55 employees in this office. 2 of them are local, and the rest of them had to come from around the country.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, almost nobody from car dealerships can make it at my company.
Yeah, that's hard. Actually, I find the same thing here over the phone. One of the reasons, kind of a sidebar there, Grant, and that might be something else to really talk about. I've noticed that people.
That's a good topic, David. Me and you should do that one day. Why do you and I have so much trouble getting car salesmen or sales managers, or even worse here?
Mm-hmm. You think it's an intimidation factor? You think that they're
no? I think the issue is because I will not spend $1 million a month like Reichart will to. Nah, I'm just kidding, Ricky. I'm kidding, man. God, come on, man. Don't take it personal, Rick. You're starting to act like Donald. Because it's all the hustle. You got to create your own leads, and I know in your business you got to create a lead. You don't have people walking into your company saying, "I want to buy your product."
Right. Absolutely. That's a great topic because we talk about that a lot. And Tracy, let me ask you this: what would you say, Tracy Myers? You're a dealer. You do a lot of training, do a lot of things. What would you say to the one that would say, competitive environment leaves me constantly looking over my shoulder, hoping that I'm better than the person who comes along? This like fear that someone's going to push me out. What would you say to that person, Tracy?
Good. That's what.
Tracy, you there? All right, let me throw that to Andrew. Andrew, what would you say to the person in a competitive environment that basically is saying, hey, I'm constantly in a competitive environment. I don't like it because I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, hoping I'm better than the person or the next person that comes along? Because that's a problem in the car business.
Well, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say that. I mean, many times our top performing sales associates are a little insecure, although they wouldn't, emit that outwardly. I mean, they're, driven people that typically super competitive and they'll do whatever it takes to sell. And I'm talking about 25 or 30 plus cars a month, every month, month in, month out. We've all been around those folks who have that special talent. They'll grind it out. They'll do, whether it's working the service drive, whether it's a referral only, and putting people on a short-term lease and just working your own customers, or it's that pro that will just Pac-Man who will gobble up everything on the floor. There's a number of different ways to get there, but I would say if you really examine them, and they're probably immune to psychoanalysis, many of them would be insecure about the next greatest thing coming along.
Let me ask you this.
I'd like to say something about that.
Sure.
I think there's two areas of competition. I mean, there's competition could be fun, exciting, and make somebody better than what they ever would be. There's competition where you want to, steal, try to intimidate, try to hurt somebody in order to compete and win. And there's competition that it makes you better. It's no different than when you're in the gym. If you're working out, one guy does this, you want to do better. If you're at the dealership, one guy makes 50 phone calls, you say, I want to make 60. The other guy does 80. Hey, I want to do 100. That's great competition where you see somebody working harder. That guy's working 50 hours. Hey, I could outwork that guy. Competition can be collaborative, and it makes people great if you have that competitive spirit. Competition does not have to be evil and bad. It could be fun and exciting.
You got it. Here's the thing, Chris, too, and I know I've talked to you a lot, and I know that you're a special breed in a sense of the auto business, and all of you guys are on here. But Rick, why is it, man? And this is the thing, because I mean, in 20 years of being in the auto business, serving auto dealers, I've seen it so many times. Why is it that, I mean, in my opinion, you just have to be better. If you're a leader, you just have to be better at one thing. Somebody can outsell you. Somebody can make more money, in selling and so forth than you did when you were in sales. You just got to be a better leader, so that you can actually handle that. It's like a law of the lid, I think Maxwell says. But, looking at the auto business where somebody's afraid of being pushed out when they could be pushed up. So why do we have such an issue in the auto business in fostering that? Instead of saying I'm going to be pushed out by somebody, I can only be pushed up. Why is that an issue? I think that's an issue that prevents dealerships from keeping great people, at least owners, guys like you that really care. You're not going anywhere. You're family. It's your business.
That's exactly right, and that's the thing that I had to have the realization of 12 years ago when I did outsell everybody. I did outgross everybody. I did outwork everybody, and I worked my way up through my numbers and my performance. And through that, I've learned how to bring others up with me and create those bonds and have those relationships to lower our turnover within the company by just being honest with people, treating them the way that they deserve to be treated, and creating a culture around that. And the auto industry, it's not cut out for everybody. It's cyclical. It goes up and down. It's hard. There's variable operations are called that for just a reason. It's variable as shit. And not everybody wants to stay in the car business their whole life. It's like Grant jumped out and decided to get himself, go into some other fields. Let's attract some other things. Everyone needs to learn how to sell. And I've had guys that will come into this business that we recruit, teach them how to sell, give them all the skills. They start kicking ass. They get a better opportunity for their family to go to another industry where they can make more salary money and have their weekends off and do their thing. And if I can improve their quality of life, that's a win for me as a leader. I want to improve their quality of life so they can go out and do things and give to their kids more than their parents gave them, because that's what it's all about. And those people are out there, and they're competitive. The only people that don't want to be competitive are the ones getting their ass kicked, and they're sick of being told how shitty they are and how the guy in front of them keeps outselling them. The second he takes over and sells more cars, he's going to like being competitive. It gets fun. That easy.
Man, that sounds like you.
Come back to our business, Grant. It's still fun. There's still plenty of room in this water. Let's dance.
Grant, you want to take a swing at that as far as, in your opinion, why a lot of dealerships have an issue keeping good people?
Again, I think because you guys spend so much time in automotive, I have learned so much sliding into some of these other verticals. This is not an automotive problem. Okay, it's in furniture, it's in insurance, it's in the military, it's in schools, it's everywhere. It's a planetary problem. It is not an automotive problem. So I don't any more than it's a millennial problem. It's like, look, you guys all have friends that aren't motivated, that are older than you. So, the car dealership I went into, it was 32 years ago. What generation would that be? Baby boomers again, or older than baby boomers? This before
Dark
they even
Ages.
labeled
Renaissance. Your generation X, Grant.
I tell you what it was. When I looked around, I'm like, these are a bunch of dumb, lazy-ass people. That's what I saw. Okay? They went home. The guy's running the place. The guy that owned the joint. Okay? Billy Navarra, who just died, he just passed. Billy Navarra was an unbelievable car dealer down in Southwest Louisiana. And he was a competitor of mine, and I didn't have the product a customer wanted, Warren Strother. And I said, let's go down to Billy's and we'll get it from Billy. I had never met Billy. I was doing 30 pieces a month. I was going to collaborate. I didn't even know what that word meant when I was 26 years old. I'm like, let's go down and get you a car. I was trying to take care of the customer. I walked in. The environment at Billy's was so competitive on the showroom floor, so starved for traffic, that they thought I was there to steal a customer when I was there to bring them a customer. They never paid attention to the customer. Billy Navarra did not talk to me for 32 years, okay? He died resentful of me for bringing a customer down there, and I was just trying to take care of a customer. So I think if you guys would spend a little time in the restaurant business, or, hey, go to TSA, y'all. How do you feel about your people when you walk into the airport and you see the TSA people? Yeah, exactly. So, or go to Nordstrom's, or go to Best Buy, or go to Macy's. Man, it's everywhere. Dude, this is a freaking contagion of mass proportions. And so you're going to have
just like, Grant, I got to pick up right there because he's absolutely right. Yeah, you guys all know me only because of automotive stuff. But like Grant, I've got into some different industries as well. Technology, software, finance, banking, because you can take the same principles you learn in the car industry and apply it to 100 other things. And anything retail, anything that involves customer service or selling a product or service, it's all the same thing. You're recruiting for the same people. There's ways to do it all. It don't matter.
David, hey, you guys want to really get a good taste of it? Call a real estate agent over the weekend and see when they call you back. I had a lady yesterday. Yesterday was what, Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever yesterday was.
Wednesday.
At 11:30, she says, I haven't opened my emails yet. I'm sorry I haven't gotten back with you. I'm like, how do you even admit to somebody? How do you make sense of even admitting to someone that you haven't opened your emails at 11 o'clock in the morning? And she's looking at an $11 million real estate transaction that she's going to get 3% of a fee on and doesn't look at it. So this is it's a planetary issue, not an industry issue.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've got a few more minutes here. I want to kind of go like a little round robin kind of answers here. I'm going to use something, Grant. And I'm going to go to Lisa. But Grant, you did it. It was one of the questions that we sent over that you did an interview at Men's Health magazine last year, and you did a phone interview and on the benefits of competition in business. And I love the answer you gave, and I want to put this on to Lisa and have you guys kind of comment on this. The editor, just like we're doing today, wanted your take on competition, and you told her, quote, competition is for sissies, and the goal is ultimately to dominate. And I like what you said here. You said it's good to compete is a flat-out lie. And I want you to explain what you meant by that, but I want to go to Lisa for a second. And Lisa, so really, when we have this collaboration versus competition, and then really Grant's taking it a step further and saying really it's domination. And so, I mean, Lisa, talk about that, and then let's kind of go around. Chris, I'll get you to weigh in on it, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing up here in the next few minutes with this topic. Lisa?
Oh, sorry, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I agree with Grant. I'm all about domination. What we say, everything we do is hashtag crushing it, right? We just got to crush it, whether it's a sales record or if it's our CEI or whatever it is. We're in a business that is sales driven, and like I said, it's fueled with passion, and I think we can have a good time doing it. But by God, we need to be number one, dominate, crush it, and whatever. So Grant, I agree.
Okay, Chris.
I'm in total agreement, and there's only one reason that you go into business, and that's, well, one is to make money, but it's to win, and it's to win or dominate, whatever word you want to use, but it's to win. That's what makes it fun. I look at the auto industry or any business, it's like a sport, and when you play a sport to win, and again, as I said, you could collaborate and also compete. They're not two different areas. That's part of how any team is great. They collaborate with each other so they could win and beat everybody in their market or in their state or in the nation, whatever you go after, whatever your goal is.
Awesome. Andrew?
Yeah, obviously most of us in this industry who have risen to any level of responsibility are probably extremely competitive people. You know me. We do business right here in Tampa, Florida. I'm next to some of the largest guys in the world. I position ourselves as the welterweight who would knock out the heavyweight if we stepped into the ring with them. We always say, hey, if our team went across the street to Toyota, instead of selling 500, well, we do 700. We got to do 300 this month here. So we position ourselves as a pound for pound, very capable, dangerous fighter.
Love it. I like the way, Andrew, I know you, when we talked a few months ago, I've known you for years, but, you were putting a plan together to strategically take out, because you couldn't fight, so to speak, fairly with like Facillo and the guys that are.
Well, yeah, let me give you a little story on that. At this age, I've been doing this a quarter of a century. I was in Las Vegas for a dealer meeting. I'm with two young guys. They're probably, I don't know what generation. They're 28 years old, owner, general manager of a dealership. Great guys. I met them, hit it off with them. They like my energy. Another dealer walked by and they mumbled something under their breath. I said, that guy's under your skin. I go, tell you what, you're not watching Sting tonight in the ballroom. You call your hotel, get an easel put up in your hotel room. We're having a business meeting up there. We're going to go through your business right now. And I sat down and said, all right, how many new cars you doing? What's your PVR? What's your talent like? Is it an A player? Well, no, you got to get rid of them then. If you're not an A player, you got to get rid of them. What are you doing in used cars? F&I, service drive. Who's working the service drive? How many customer pay ROs? We went through it, the basic nuts, because I like mentoring people at this point. Because guess what? I may not get anything out of it financially or with them, but the good feelings that I have about sharing this knowledge that we pick up in this industry and get these guys to quit feeling sorry for yourself. And dust yourself off and get out there and go get it.
Good stuff. Rick Reichardt, you got the number 2 certified pre-owned dealership on your heels. What does Rick Reichardt, look at that face, what does Rick Reichardt do? Dominate, compete, or collaborate?
Well, number one,
first of all, he's
don't think there is any competition. It's the old theory of that Michael Jordan said that for every minute you're resting or whatever, there's somebody practicing and getting better, and when you meet them, they'll beat you. You always got to feel like there's competition that's on your even if you are dominating, even if you are out in head by a long pace, watching a NASCAR race, somebody's got a half a track lead on everybody else. You think he's okay with that? No, he wants to know how he can get another tenth of a second, get faster, get better, keep improving. I want to innovate. That's what my real goal is. I want to change the game. Whatever everybody else is doing, whatever's popular in this industry today, it's 5 years behind the rest of the world. So there's a better, different, more efficient, more productive, most badass way of doing things. We can use technology to leverage these things. We can train people better and different, lower payroll, keeping culture strong, continue to grow. I just want to expand and grow, keep taking over and dominating, kicking ass, work my way all the way to Florida so I can get a tan like Pretty Boy there. Let's go.
He's talking about you.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I am. You're right there. Whoever's in Florida, everybody.
He's talking about Grant. Look at him. Grant's the one with the tan. I don't know how. What do you get? You must have somebody follow you around with a freaking portable tanning bed. Because you don't get outside in the sun much, Grant. You're working all the time, brother.
So, Grant, you get the last word on your own quote there about competition for sissies, and ultimately, the goal is to dominate.
You muted, Grant.
Mr. Grant, you're muted, brother.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I just want to say that.
What?
Sorry about that. I just want to say that this is the first time I've collaborated with Andrew and Joe Lyons. Andrew Dutton and Joe Lyons. I know Chris and Tracy and Lisa and Rick, and it's just to collaborate with each of you guys, because I get something out of it, and I don't always know what that is until later. To me, that's the collaboration part. On the domination thing, when I wrote, the domination concept came out of the book, If You're Not First, You're Last, and it really wasn't about. I had been competing with Joe for so many years in the automotive industry. It cost me a lot of money competing with Joe. Joe, I'm talking about Joe Birdie.
Right.
Because I spent too much time thinking about Joe's business rather than, dude, why don't I just dominate this whole freaking space? Why don't I own all of it? And when I quit comparing what I was doing to Joe Birdie, my business exploded. And that's really what I was talking about in that book, rather than, I'm trying to buy a piece of real estate in Miami right now. It's an apartment deal. and the apartment market is extremely, I mean, like, it's the most competitive real estate market I've ever been in 30 years. So with compressed cap rates, it's very, very difficult. So you got 20 and 30 guys looking at stuff, but they all have more money than I have. So I'm like, how do I dominate the broker and the seller? How do I play a different game? This is what Rick was talking about. Change the game. That's how you dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are some creative things you can do to change your game and bring another level of value both to your employees and to your customers? So everybody's highly interested in whatever it is you're doing, whether you're buying a piece of real estate or you're selling a car or you're selling credit, life, and insurance. You know, whatever. I'm changing windshields. Make that so freaking exciting that you now separate yourself from the rest of the space. And people don't compare you anymore. The customer no longer compares you, which is a competitive concept.
That's good. That's good. Well, Rick Reichart, make sure you follow everybody. Rick, give us a way that dealers or somebody listening can follow you if they're not already. What's the best way? You're muted too, Rick.
I'm the best. I'm the best.
At Rick Reichert, RickReichert.com. Yeah, Twitter at Rick Reichert. I'm kind of new to it. I was on private for a while, but I guess if I want to have some followers, get on there, ask me something if you need to. Happy to help. Let's keep moving forward. If you're listening to this, if you're watching the show, you give a shit. You want to get better. You want to improve. If you're out back smoking and joking and you don't have time for this stuff, you're not gonna. I don't want to talk to you anyways. So those that want to hustle, want to get better, let's collaborate. Let's keep moving forward.
Andrew,
all there is to do.
Andrew, I know you're working in the dealership. You're not. You have. I know you're on Twitter, but you're not on social a lot. But if you don't mind, can someone reach out to you if they'd like to pick your brain and just ask you how you've done it for 23 years?
Yeah, my Twitter tag is at Drew Dunton.
Drew Dunton. Okay. Dunton.
Yep.
Okay.
And I have collaborated with Grant before. He doesn't remember it. I worked for Carlisle Lincoln Mercury. They required that we invest in ourselves. I went to his seminar. He had a 100% pin. I walked up to him on the break, said, how much for the 100% pin? I pulled out 100 before he answered the question. He goes, they're $20 a piece, or you can get 6 for 100. Looked me right in the eye. I gave him the 100.
Nice.
Andrew, I don't consider $100 a collaboration.
Nice. Lisa Copeland.
Twitter, Lisa C. Copeland, or at Lisa C. Copeland, or my professional Facebook page at Lisa Copeland. So, yeah, ask me anything. Love to help.
And Chris Saraceno?
On Twitter, it's at Chris B. Saraceno. And I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Facebook, and of course you get me on Dealer Elite also. So I'm on all forms of social media.
Awesome. And then Grant, I know you have something coming up. I wanted to just mention, and I probably get the name wrong, but the secret, the number one secret to sales. What's going on with
greatest sales secret of all time, baby? The greatestsalessecret.com. I think it's greatestsalessecret.com.
greatestsalessecret.com. And if you're listening and you're in sales,
it's going to be a 4-hour live webinar. The ebook's like 80 pages.
How much can someone get into the webinar for?
$49. $49. I'm going to give you the webinar. The webinar is $249, but anybody that buys the ebook for $49, I'm going to give them the webinar for free.
I'm just saying that's a no-brainer. If you're listening, $49 to get into a 4-hour webinar. I mean, that's basically, $12.
If you guys want me to tell you the secret, man, if you want me to tell you the secret, I'll tell you the secret right now. The whole thing's going to be about follow-up. That you would be the greatest salesman in the world if you just knew how to follow up correctly.
Awesome.
Amen.
Well, guys and gal, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're extremely busy, and it's been incredible conversation. I got a lot out of it, and thank you for, as Grant said, collaborating with us.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome, man. I love.
Did you take notes? You took notes, didn't you?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, you took some notes.
Yes, sir. On the little iPad Pro here. We're not finished yet, though. We're running a little bit over, but we're going to be bringing on, just for a couple of minutes here, we're going to be bringing on Marty Coates. And we're going to be talking about this book right here, and we're going to bring him on. Tell me when you're ready, Mike. Just give me the thumbs up. But let me tell you something, man. Awesome. We didn't get through the questions. I knew we wouldn't. We have 12 questions here. We asked some of them, and we did a lot of them kind of backward. But the conversation, when you get this caliber of people on, it's the discussion takes an organic twist to it, Tom.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, I think, because there's a lot of ideas, and we don't want to pigeonhole people into one specific thing, because there's a lot of information there's a lot of bad information out there, so a lot of it's got to be corrected, and we only got an hour to do it a week, so we got to do it the best we can. But yeah, smart people that know what they're talking about, top of their game. Grant Cardone's a beast. Rick Reichardt's a beast. These guys are just smart guys who know what they're talking about. So listen up, man. When they're talking, they're trying to help, and they're trying to be a benefit to the business that they serve. You know what I mean? So
they took time out of their schedule.
Absolutely.
That's what's so impressive to me. Taking time out of your schedule, and that's what we're all about here at Auto Dealer Live. I mean, we do this because we love this industry, and we want to see people get better. We want to see you get better, and so thank you guys for listening, and we're gonna be bringing Marty on in just a second. Mike, do we need to go to commercial real quick? All right, we'll be back in 1 minute. Don't go anywhere. Marty Coates is coming on, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So next up is Marty Coates.
Go with the pros who know. Your dealership wouldn't trust its vehicles in the hands of an uncertified technician. So why trust its finances with accounting firms that don't know your business? Rosenfield & Company knows the automotive industry and has been serving dealerships like yours for over 20 years. We take pride in helping our clients grow from single-point stores to some of the largest dealer groups in the country. We are more than just your accountants. Our team can guide you through mergers and acquisitions, operational reviews, succession planning, and more. Visit us on the web for more information at www.rosenfieldandco.com.
Jason Rice from Lot Pop, and let me tell you what we do to help dealerships increase used car sales 20 to 30% in gross in volume. 3 areas we focus on: trend reports. We look at weekly trends that no one else is trending to make adjustments on our inventory. 2 is we do weekly review calls to review those trends, but also we dig through every car that needs to be price adjusted to increase the searches. And 3, we do a virtual lot walk, make sure every car is standing tall in line, and make sure we don't have bad photos like these. Check out our website, lotpop.com. our blog at automotiverevolution.com, and our weekly video tips at increaseturn.com. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Alan Ram, president and founder of Alan Ram's Proactive Training Solutions. Let's face it, good managers are defined not by what they do when they have a showroom full of customers, but more by what they do when there are no customers in the showroom. In 2015, whether you like it or not, the car business is all about conversion of opportunities and driving traffic. All those great closers and desk people are not doing you a whole lot of good if your dealership is not converting effectively on the telephone and internet. As an owner or dealer, when you see 5 salespeople standing by the front door doing nothing, don't kid yourself. Your dealership is not being effectively managed. Management by Fire is a 2.5-day intensive course conducted entirely by me that teaches managers how to effectively manage in today's automotive industry. Simple processes for driving high-quality traffic. For more information on upcoming events, please call my team at 866-996-4665. Once again, 866-996-4665. Thank you.
Service Group has over 40 years of experience empowering dealerships to grow profits, develop personnel, and provide their customers with a high level of service. We offer high-quality products, world-class servicing, and innovative training and technology. Meet our team: first-class trainers, the best account managers, and an executive team that's second to none.
This is your Service Group team. We look forward to giving your people the power to perform.
max profit selling, an easy-to-follow, buyer-friendly sales process that will give you the tools, skills, and confidence to consistently sell premium vehicles to delighted buyers.
To learn more about selling the way your customers prefer to buy, please visit nopressureselling.com or call 1-800-515-0034.
All right, we're back. And we're going to be bringing on, and I know we're over a little bit, but this is worth it. And we have Marty Coates on Skype with us and on the line. Marty, I appreciate your patience. You knew when you saw the guest list that we just had on that we were going to go over. There was absolutely no way around it. So how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thanks again for having us on. No question, we were going to go over today with that cast of great commentators to be on the show with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we have a good audience here on today, and they're still with us. And you know what, man? It's a special day. I'm holding in my hand. I see a bunch behind you as well, man. This is a phenomenal endeavor that you've now the second time you've done this endeavor, and it's been a little while ago, man. Where a few months where we put this together along with a great group of other industry leaders and race to the finish line, gaining and retaining your competitive advantage, in which I'm privileged to be one of the co-authors on, man, is out today. And our goal before what time tonight is to get this thing on a bestsellers list. What's our deadline?
Midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time.
So midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And so talk about this, man. Talk about your vision with this and what this means to you. And first of all, I want to say thank you for letting me be part of this. And we are going to be pushing the daylights out of this. So thank you. And talk about what this project's meant to you, Marty, and what you want to see, the people who get this, read this, and internalize this, get out of it.
Dave, thank you again, and congratulations for being a part of this book. Our vision for this a couple of years ago was to place in the hands of dealers and their staff some tools that could help them outpace their competition. And we've heard even today from some of the best in the industry. And we add to this now with our second edition of Race to the Finish Line, an anthology, if you will, of a number of other experts from across the industry that bring to the table years, literally hundreds of years of experience in and out of the automobile industry. And our vision is to, in this particular version of Race to the Finish Line, this is the sequel, obviously, to the first in the series of what might be more to come, is to focus on how do we gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace and then stay there. How do you gain it and keep it? It's not enough to have a certain market surge, but how do you gain that competitive edge and keep it? And we believe we have captured many of those secrets in this book. For example, your chapter on branding is by far one of the best that I've ever read, focusing on the key elements of building that brand. And I know that comes from experience. You built that at your company, and you're known now around the country for a number of different brands that are directly tied to you. So how do I take that to the independent and franchise dealership lot? You've told us how to do that in this book. You've come alongside many other greats in the marketplace, experts on sales, experts on reinsurance, experts on customer service, all contribute to what we believe to be the best of the two books so far.
Well, outstanding, man! It's phenomenal, and I can't wait to dive into what everyone here is saying. And of course, I know a few of the people that are involved and just kudos, man, in putting together, in my opinion, truly some of the best. I feel honored to be included on that list, and so we're gonna help push this thing obviously over the edge, and we're gonna be sending out a big email campaign here with the ability for our viewers and people who support and are affiliated with us to go on and purchase this. And so let me ask you this: so we have till midnight tonight, and what's the future? Tell me what's. I know you're probably just thinking about this, but I know you enough to know that you lived this a year ago, you know, in your mind. You're visionary, so you're already thinking about the next step. Marty Coates, what's the next step in racing to the finish line? I mean, you know, we're not quite there yet.
No, at Waymaker Rowing Corporation, we have a long-term commitment to making sure that we help as many people as we can along the way to get the best and be the best at all they do. And so, yeah, we're already looking and peering out into the future for probably the trifecta, if you will, yet another in the series of Race to the Finish Line. It's, you know, I said in the book, in the preface, that, you know, it's one thing to win the race and get to the finish line, but the real mark of the win is when you're standing in the winner's circle. So we're already looking at moving from the finish line into the winner's circle. We believe this book.
We can all do a couple donuts, right? We can all do a couple donuts.
Absolutely.
Do some
Absolutely. I'm a big NASCAR fan, and so that winner's circle certainly is center focus for me many Sundays throughout the year. But certainly as it relates to business and to the work that we do with folks across the country, we're already looking forward to yet another opportunity in the future. But today, it began early this morning, 12:01 a.m. We'll stay with it now until midnight tonight. Is to get this thing out to as many people as we can around the world.
Well, they're selling like hotcakes right now, and I've seen your updates throughout the day as well. And we're going to go ahead and tweet out, in addition to emailing, we're going to tweet out, Mike. Let's make sure we tweet out with the hashtag AutoDealerLive. You can get it. Go to Amazon and search it, Race to the Finish Line, Gaining and Retaining Your Competitive Advantage. Also, we're going to tweet that link out as well here, so you'll be able to go and just get into our hashtag AutoDealerLive, and you'll be able to see that tweet here coming any moment, I'm sure. So, Marty, man, I want to get you back on sooner than later, because I want to talk to you a little bit about. I really want to talk to you about some independent things that are coming, and I want to get your opinion on some regulations and some things that some of the clients and people that we know in the independent world are asking us about. And I think it's a really hot topic for not only independent dealers, but dealerships that want to have, you know, or do have maybe an independent lot attached to them. You know, there's some things that I think I want to talk to you about. Maybe you can work on getting a couple of other people that are in that genre and expert, and we can come on together and have a little panel. Would you be up for that?
We'd love to do that. There are a lot of things that are happening now, and certainly a lot of influence from the federal government down into the industry that we need to talk about. And I'll be glad to try to put that panel together for you. Look forward to coming back. All
right, sir. Thank you very much, and appreciate it, and look forward to a good read here, man. Thank you so much again for letting me be involved in this. I'm excited.
Thank you, David, and welcome, Tommy, to the show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey. All right, thanks, Marty.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't even know. I'm tired. I didn't do anything. I don't know how I'm tired.
Anything, pretty much all day.
I don't
like on show days. Pretty much now, Tommy comes to work and like gets here at 9:15.
Well, that was because of traffic. There's railroad crossings that are okay. Anyway,
but I'm saying you get there and then you kind of just like, you know, all day long you're using the excuse of in your mind.
I had to get mentally prepped for this. This was a big show. Grant Cardone, come on, jeez, these guys are pro. And don't forget the Italian word of the day.
Ezra, show your face on camera, bro. Show your face. Look at Ez.
Ezra he doesn't look like it in this picture, but he is 6'7". He's 6'7" tall.
Which makes me 6'9". Yes. Because he's shorter than me on camera.
God love him.
God love him.
But, hey, man, good show.
Yes,
good
sir.
Show.
Hashtag AutoDealerLive. Get on Twitter. Hey, listen, we got over 35 guests, confirmed 35 guests that have never been on this show. Some freaking rock stars, man. Some really cool stuff coming up, brother. You don't want to miss a week of
my objective coming on to the show is making it much more stupid than it was before. That's my objective. And also interesting. And also bringing some new flavor to this somehow or another. So it's 35 people. Get ready for what Tommy Elwell brings to the table, which you might not even know what it is yet, because I'm not even sure what it is yet. But rest assured, it'll be good.
The next up is Race to the Finish Line 2, as Arnold or as the next up says, the Race to the Finish Line 2, Volume 2, make it a bestseller. Order the link's out. And the next up is a bunch of great shows. I want to thank TrueCar for coming on as well as a 2016 sponsor. And be on the lookout. Bill Wittenmeyer, partner of eLead, is joining the Autotainment family. There's a new show right around the corner, as well as a couple of others that are coming. And so autotainmentnetwork.com. Make sure you check it out. What a tremendous, tremendous group of individuals on Tuesday. Mike starting, 2:30 on Tuesday? 2 o'clock on Tuesday. And then starts at 2:30 on Thursday, preceding Auto Dealer Live. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us a little longer, both of you. And
thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Vinny.
Thank
Sarah.
you. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Have a good weekend.